Rozpoczynamy podróż na Staffę. Mijamy Ajonę. Kierujemy się tam.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're underway for Staffa now, and Staffa's just over 6 miles to our north, and we normally do that in about 45 minutes. Well, it's a good morning for the sail across. It's maybe a wee bit overcast for us, but sea conditions are good, and once we get to Staffa, we will land you beside the clamshell cave, and then it's just a short walk along to Fingal's Cave itself. You'll have just over an hour on Staffa this morning, and that gives you plenty of time to go along to Fingal's Cave and also to go looking for the puffins that nest there if you wish. Now I'm afraid it is coming towards the end of the puffin time here in Staffa. They will be leaving us any day now. However, the people were still seeing a few yesterday, so I think it's still worth taking a wander up to where the puffins' nests are, and I'll point out how to get there once I get you across. Now I just have to draw your attention to the safety notices that we have on display. They are situated just inside the cabin, and also the life-saving equipment, which is above the cabin roof and also the wheelhouse roof. Any passengers sitting down on the aft deck on the red carpet standing in this area is not permitted at any time throughout the crossing. Well, as we travel across to Staffa, most of this land you can see on the right hand side of the boat is all the island of Mull. You've maybe noticed how very pink in colour the rock is at this end of Mull, and this is all granite of the House of Fraser and owned Harrods at the time, and it was reported to be about £1.5 million. And that was in 1979, and then a year later he donated Iona to the National Trust for Scotland. Well, we're just going to carry on along this Mull shoreline first of all, and then after that we're going to head on out to Staffa. Thank you.
razie ptactwa morskiego. Tutaj trafiają się delfiny, a nawet czasami wieloryb. Morze jest bardzo spokojne, nie ma wiatru, więc nie buja jak ostatnim razem, kiedy tu byłem.
Just in a few moments, we're going to be on the left-hand side of the boat. First of all, we'll just got a few seals sitting up the top of the rock, just ahead of us there, just past the gulls at the top of the rock.
Yeah, nice and quiet.
We'll be on the left-hand side, and then I'll turn the boat round, and you'll get to see them on the other side as well. We do have a mixed colony here. But looking at these, I would say most of these ones are common or harbour seals. But we do also have the larger grey Atlantic in amongst them sometimes.
You're well camouflaged, yeah. You would go past them if you didn't. If we didn't point them
Yeah,
out,
what's
you
that?
probably
Is it
wouldn't know.
There's one swimming across there. One swimming across there. Look, it's just gone beyond that little line there. There's one on there. Oh, he's going back now, look. Look.
Przeszliśmy skały, żeby zobaczyć foki i ptactwo morskie, a teraz już płyniemy w kierunku Staffy, tam na horyzoncie daleko Staffa. Zaczyna się huśtawka.
Ladies and gentlemen, these are some common dolphins.
Delfiny.
Carved ahead of us. Left-hand side of the woman. Quite quickly. Get them onto the other side. These are common dolphins. They're kind of engaged in fish, they're not overly interested in the boat. Usually they would come for a wee bit of interaction.
delfiny odpłynęły.
He's going to come up. Here we go. Now. Yeah, you get it. You come up again, maybe. There.
He's still there, he's coming. Yeah, you wouldn't know where they're going to come up next to you. It's just...
I think we'll leave them to it. There's not too more interested in the boat, so what we've all managed to get a view of them, and we'll just keep heading on towards Staffa. But that was the Commodore. Thank you.
Trochę dalej.
Those ones are travelling, they've got somewhere to go here. Yeah, they're in a hurry to go somewhere. Always faster than us. Always faster.
Is that nature made by man? The line is like with a ruler, made with a ruler.
Yes, no, it's natural. So basically, so 60 million years ago, there was a volcano. The centre of it is here. This Menmore is all that remains of the southern rim of it, so it'd be something like that.
Wow.
This volcano erupted somewhere between 20 and 30 times, and each time it erupted, lava came out, spilled across the landscape, And then the most obvious place, you see behind us here, you can't really see it, but this piece of land here is this here, and if you are on the road here and you look across there, you'll see layers and layers and layers and layers. So each time the volcano erupts, another layer, eruption, another layer, built up and built up. All of these islands were made from some of the first layers. This one and this one obviously had higher land on them, which has been eroded away subsequently. But the bottom part of this, and these two here is all the same. It's all the same type, and that's the same time as Staffa. So you can see, yes, they're almost the same height, but most of the land is the same height all the way along.
What stone?
Basalt. It's basalt, but it doesn't have the very regular columns. Only at Staffa you see the regular columns. The basalt, in order for the columns to form, the basalt has to cool down very slowly and very regularly. So there's an American geologist who has a YouTube channel, and he has a little video about basalt columns, and he said, when I say that the basalt had cooled down very slowly, he's saying it took 100 years to cool down. It wasn't like it took a week or something like that. It was a long period of cooling. And if the basalt cools at a very regular and slow rate, then you get these very regular columns. If it cools down too quickly, then you don't get there's no columns. What's that? Yes, just leaves it just becomes sort of a hard flat stone. One of the things that he describes it as being similar to is if you have a muddy puddle and it dries out in the sunshine, then it all cracks like that. That's basically how the lava kind of cracks. You know, the cracks appear on the surface, but they go all the way kind of down through it. It's worth having a little look at. It's quite difficult to understand when you see it here, I think. But
Staffa. Chodzimy na drugą stronę.
Ouais, t'as vu? Et comment ça a pu faire ça?
C'est la lave, ça refroidit très lentement.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here we are at Staffa, and this is us looking on to the great face of Staffa. And beside the great face, you can see the different formations of the basalt, and the geologists tell us that these volcanic eruptions were about 59 million years ago. The smooth rock at the bottom is the volcanic ash, and the pillars cool very slowly, and then they crack into these hexagonal shapes. Staffa itself is a Norse word that means pillar island, or staff, like a stick, and with the basalt columns and the lines that run down through the island, then you can see why it's been called so. The smaller cave by the smooth rock is called the boat cave. And then, ladies and gentlemen, this is us looking into Fingal's Cave. Fingal's Cave is 66 feet high entrance and extends back into the island by 240 feet. So that's about 20 metres high and 80 metres. Now the cave is named after the legendary Irish giant Fingal, and he first came to prominence in James Macpherson, who was the Gaelic scholar. His poems about Fingal and his son Ossian, and they were first published in 1762. Now Felix Mendelssohn, the German composer, he visited Staffa in the summer of 1829. He was inspired by the noise of the Atlantic swell crashing into the back of Fingal's Cave, and he composed his Hebrydów overture shortly after this visit. As you can see and feel, there is a little bit of this Atlantic swell, but these are good conditions for it here at Staffa. We're just going to head into landing place now, and then it's just a short walk along the
Need to get behind you there, sir.
Yeah.
That's down. Now, as I was saying, it is coming towards the end of the puffins time here in Staffa, but if you want a chance to see the last ones ashore, then up the staircase, turn right, and it's just over a 10-minute walk up to this grassy slope that's straight ahead of the boat at the moment. You can see there's a pink marker there at the bottom of the grassy slope, and that shows you that you're in the right place for the puffins. But I'm afraid you will have to be very patient. It could be 10, 15, even 20 minutes just to get a chance to see a puffin. I'm not seeing any flying there at the moment, but certainly they were much slower in coming ashore yesterday. But that's where you'll have the best chance. And if I could have you back on board for leaving at 12:25. 12:25. Now, as you can see, there's a couple of other boats that are just going to be picking up roughly the same time as us. So it's very important that you're back on board or leaving at 12:25. 12:25. If you're unsure of the departure time, please check with us on the way off. Thank you.
Marcher là le long jusqu'à la grotte, on va monter les escaliers et aller en haut de la falaise.
zaczyna padać. Stąd kropki się pojawią. Idziemy teraz najpierw do jaskini Fingala. Stąpamy po słupach bazaltu. Teraz wyłączę kamerę, bo muszę się trzymać barierki. Wejście do jaskini Fingala na wyspie Staffa. Wieje silny wiatr, mrzawka. Niesamowite słupy bazaltowe. Biegły wybuchy wulkanów. Ileś tam milionów lat temu, jak mówił pan na statku. Próbujemy podejść bliżej. Tutaj wpływa odnoga morza. Jest podobno bardzo głęboko, tutaj kilkanaście metrów nawet. Bardzo czysta woda. I ta odnoga tu wpływając do jaskini. Ale jest około chyba 300 metrów, pan mówił. Sięga w głąb ta jaskinia. I w pewnych miejscach ma po kilkadziesiąt metrów wysokości. Jedziemy tam na chwilę, filmować i uciekać, bo bardzo wieje. Jest bardzo głęboko, muszę uważać, żeby się nie poślizgnąć. Proszę zobaczyć, jest naprawdę bardzo głęboko. Wszystko dalej tam nie ma co. Dalej tam nie ma co wchodzić. Woda gdzieś, ale nie utępuje. Tropy bazaltowe. Równie tu wszędzie. Jeszcze nam 2-3 stopnie do przodu, ale muszę bardzo uważać. Bardzo głęboko. Zmiana pogody może coraz bardziej wzburzone, będzie nami ładnie bujało w drodze powrotnej. jest taka pogoda. No Hebrydy, proszę Państwa, Hebrydy. Ludzie ciągle podchodzą, a ja schodzę właśnie, o widzicie, te cały czas te wazony. To trudno światło wychwycić dobre. Tak jak przekręcę kamerę, to się cieszę. To jest taka paskudna pogoda w tej chwili, że Państwa, naprawdę przepraszam za te zaciemnienia momentami, bo nie tak ruszę kamerą, niż się robi czarno. Muszę wyłączyć kamerę, żeby nie przeszkadzać, albo zejdę niżej po prostu. Zejdę niżej, żeby złapać lepsze ujęcia. Tu jest nawet bezpieczniej niż na tej zabezpieczonej rzekomo ścieżce. A widać tutaj właśnie te, o, jak mówię, jakby odpowiednio nachylę kamerę, to mam dostatecznie dużo światła, a tak to wychodzi ciemne. Same skały są bardzo ciemne. Czapa, a tu te słupy bazaltowe, tak się zaciągnie dookoła wyspy. No mówię, manipuluję tą kamerą cały czas. Dobra, wyłączę. Słyszymy, jak tu morze szaleje. Coraz większe fale się robią. Wyobrażam sobie, co to będzie, jaka będzie podróż powrotna. Nie mogę tej kamery tak ustawić, żeby złapać trochę światła. Jest naprawdę bardzo ciemno. Może kolegom, którzy to będą mi pomagali montować jakimś tam programem, uda się to rozjaśnić. Zachodni brzeg Staffy. Zimno, ściąpi deszcz i wieje bardzo silny wiatr. Jestem na samym szczycie. Widzicie Państwo, jaka pogoda. Tylko te najbliższe maleńkie wysepki widać. Dalej już nie widać nic. Ani śladu pafinów. Nikt nic nie widział. Po drodze tylko widzieliśmy delfiny, kormorany. One, jak jest taka pogoda, te ptaki to się tam gdzieś między skałami mają swoje gniazda, także raczej się ich nie zobaczy. To jest fajna wycieczka, bo tu się płynie 45 minut, a potem można godzinę spędzić na Staffie, no i następne 45 minut powrót. Schweinfurt na wyspie Mal. Tutaj pod wrażeniem tej jaskini Fingala Mendelssohn skomponował swoją uwerturę hebrycką. Bywali tu tacy znani ludzie jak Macpherson. Naprawdę autor to tam twierdził, że on to odkrył jakieś rękopisy, a to jest bójda na resorach. On to wydał takie dziełko, które było dla polskich i nie tylko polskich, w ogóle dla romantyków całej Europy takim cudownym odkryciem świata galickiego, świata celtyckiego, pieśni Osjana. Pieruńsko-popularna literatura od połowy wieku XVIII. Strasznie tu wieje, deszcz pada, trzeba stąd uciekać. A jeszcze mam pół godziny do odpłynięcia statku. Nie ma gdzie schować, co tu robić w taką pogodę. To już sobie tutaj na wyspie raczej zakończymy. Tam statki wycieczkowe cumują dalej od brzegu, żeby ich nie niosło na skały. One, jak zbliża się godzina odpłynięcia, to przypływają do takiego kamiennego molu. A na razie sobie tam cumują ze 200 metrów od brzegu, żeby się nie rozbić o skały. Idzie straszna mgła, więc zanim tu nadejdzie, to jeszcze sfilmuję ten brzeg. Niesamowite. Proszę zobaczyć, co idzie z nadmorza. Prawie nic nie widać. Taka fajna mewa duża tutaj sobie usiadła. Znaczy to nie jest mewa, to jest jakiś taki ptak tu morski. Za plecami mam tablicę informacyjną, ale nie będę się już odwracał. Na stateczek już podpływa do przystani. Musimy się ładować na niego. Czas schodzić. Film zrobiony, zdjęcia zrobione. Także spełniłem swoją powinność na dzisiaj.